Hey everybody, how are you tonight? It is Thursday. I'm feeling namaste. Yeah. So we're almost to the weekend. And so tonight I'm going to do a warrior series just because we need to be warriors, not warriors. So before we get started, we're going to check out what the magic yoga cube or octagon or whatever it is, I'm just going to call it cube, says that we'll do. So let's see, what's it going to choose tonight? Knees to chest pose. Okay, so we'll remember that for later. But for now, we're going to go ahead and get started. So let's find a wall and do some sun salutations. Yay, Miss Kelly is in the house. Yeah, all right. Okay, so go into your wall. Let's come into mountain pose. Bringing the feet to hip width apart or a little bit wider if you need to. Arms down by your side, palms are open, full of energy. Let's start to breathe. Nice deep yoga breaths. In and out of the nose. On the inhale, let's take the arms up. Interlace your fingers with the index fingers pointing. On the exhale, we're going to bend to the left. Inhale back to center and exhale, bend to the right. Inhale back to center, separate your hands, soften your knees, and fold forward. Oh, that feels so good. Holy cow. Yeah. Let your head lead you on the inhale, rise to standing, palms come together, hands into your heart. Step to the wall, extend your arms. On the exhale, bending those elbows. Kiss is optional. On the inhale, going back up. On your next inhale, taking your left leg back, lengthening out through that heel. Oh, that feels good too. Legs are tight. Inhale, stepping back up, and inhale, take your right leg back. Of course, there's an exhale between those two inhales, but you know, do it fast. Inhale, stepping back up. Exhale, walk out into half down dog. Lengthening your tailbone across the room. Inhale, coming up. Step away from the wall. On the inhale, bringing the arms up. On the exhale, fold. Inhale, hands to the shins. Exhale, fold. And inhale, rise back to standing. Hands coming down into Anjali Mudra. On the inhale, sweeping the arms out to the side and up to the ceiling. Interlace your fingers. On the exhale, we're going to bend to the right. Inhale back to center. And exhale, bend to the left. Inhale back to center. Separate your hands, soften your knees, and fold forward. Oh, yeah, that feels so good. Let your head lead you on the inhale, rise back to standing, hands into your heart. Step to the wall, extend your arms. On the exhale, we're going to come down. On the inhale, we're going to come back up. And then inhale, take your right leg back. Ooh, I was too far from the wall. Almost fell out. Like I've never done that before. Lengthen your heel. Inhale, stepping up. And inhale, take your left leg back. Inhale, stepping back up. And exhale, walk out into half down dog. Woof, woof. Well, I guess it would only be woof because it's half. Inhale, coming back up. Push away from the wall. On the inhale, taking your arms up. On the exhale, fold. Inhale, hands to the shins. Exhale, fold. And inhale, rise back to standing. Hands come together and down into your heart. And then we'll turn back to the top of our mats. So let's see what we're going to do today. So if you've got blocks, go ahead and put them at the front of your mat on the high side, just in case. You may not need them, but you know, better safe than sorry, right? Okay, so let's come back into mountain pose, assuming the position once again. Relax your shoulders. Really deep breath. Feeling your feet kind of connect into your mat. On your next inhale, let's take the arms up, palms come together. Exhale, soften your knees and fold forward into your standing forward bend, Uttanasana. So you can take your hands either to the backs of your legs, to the mat, to one of the blocks. If you want to stand in half standing forward bend, just take your hands to your shins and flatten your back. But if you're in full standing forward bend, keep those knees soft. It takes some of the weight off of your low back and let your hamstrings relax a little bit. Let your head hang down. And then, of course, if you want to take hold of opposite elbows and either hang heavy or sway side to side in pendulum pose, feel free. You don't have to. You can just stay in standing forward bend if you want. I'm good with it. And breathe. Just keep breathing. Then we'll come to a stop. Let's take the hands down to the mat. And then on your next inhale, we're going to take the left leg back. You're going to turn the back foot to 45 degrees. Make sure that your right knee is stacked over your ankle. Inhale and rise into warrior two. So, once again, we're going to make sure that that right knee is stacked over the ankle. If you have to make an adjustment, do it with your back foot, and I actually did have to do that. Then the arms are up level, the body's at center, looking out either over your front arm or to the side if your neck is bothering you today. Just breathe, bringing that strength into your body. We're strong like warriors. Even this feels good right now. You know, sometimes you just need yoga. I mean, you had a day or you've just been running around crazy. I was running around crazy today because Ken went fishing. It was a beautiful day. He needed to go. On your next inhale, let's reverse the warrior. Taking the right arm up to the sky, the left arm down your back leg. You can look up or down. That's up to you. Just keep breathing. Then we're going to inhale back into warrior two. Now we're going to swing the back arm in to join the front, and the palms are going to be facing each other. Turn the back foot forward and then arms up, and we're in warrior one. So your heel can either be lifted, or if you wanted to set it slightly down on the mat, you could do that. Just breathe. If your arms get tired, you can bring them into Anjali Mudra. If your legs get tired, you'll just have to come out of it. Then we're going to drop the hands to the hips, step the back foot in, straighten the front leg, level out your hips with the front of the room, and then we're going to bring the hands behind us, either interlacing your fingers or pushing your palms together or toward one another. Lengthen to the floor with your hands, and then either look forward or up to the ceiling. An extended, intense side stretch. Nice deep breaths. Then we're going to look forward if you're looking up. Release your hands. We're going to step the back foot in to join the front. Shake it out a little bit. Yeah. Now you guys are going to stay where you are on your mat, but I don't want to have my back turned to you through the whole next sequence. So I'm going to turn the opposite way. So I'll only have my rear end to you for just a minute, but you won't notice so. Alright, so we're going to inhale, take the arms up once again, palms come together. Exhale, fold into your standing forward bend. And this time we're going to take the right leg back. We're going to turn the back foot to 45 degrees. Inhale and rise into warrior two. See how that worked for me? Yep, because I didn't have a slick transition, so I just had to do it this way. All right, so make sure the body is at center. The left knee is lined up over the ankle. Arms are up level with each other. Nice deep breaths. I'm going to do a little adjustment with the back foot because my stance wasn't quite wide enough. Then on the inhale, we're going to take the left arm up to the sky and the right hand down the back leg, coming into reverse warrior, Viparita Virabhadrasana. Yeah, I had to think about it. Every once in a while, you just forget. Breathe. We're going to come back up into warrior two. Bring the back arm around to join the front, palms to face each other. You can either scoot your foot around so that it's set slightly, or you can lift your heel and inhale into warrior one. So this didn't really work out very well for me because now my back is to you again. Oh well, that's laid plans, right? It'll all work out in the end. Then exhale the hands down to the hips, step the back foot in, straighten the front leg, level out the hips, hands come behind you, lengthen your hands to the floor, and look forward or up to the ceiling. And of course, if you have to bend your knees some, go ahead and do so. Then we'll release the hands, step the right foot in to join the left, and I'll turn back the way I was before. So for balance tonight, can you guess what it's going to be? The other warrior? Yeah, we're going to do warrior three. So here's another place where you might need a block, and that's why I had you put them on your mat if you have them. Of course, you're also welcome to use the wall if you want to in warrior three. So if you want to use the wall, what I always recommend is come into half down dog, adjust your arms so that they're completely straight, then push away from the wall. That should have your feet in the right position to go into warrior three. Then you can just step one foot back. You can take your arms overhead, but instead of interlacing your fingers, just keep your palms separated. Find your focal point on the floor, bend your left knee, and as you start to bring your right leg up, then your arms can go to the wall or your hands and your arms are straight. And then you can do all of your adjustments as we go through this. If you're going to do it on the floor with the blocks, then what you want to do is have the blocks out in front of you. Step one foot slightly back. Again, you're going to bring the arms up, bend the front knee, and as you start to come up, focus on the floor, and then bring your hands down to the blocks. And then we'll do all the adjustments. But if you just prefer to go without blocks and without the wall, we're good to go. So we're going to start with the left foot out in front. The right foot is going to be slightly back. You can either bring your arms up and interlace your fingers, or you can bring your hands into prayer, which is what I like to do. Find your focal point on the floor, bend your left knee, start to bring your right leg up, straighten your left leg, we'll balance out your hips, so you're going to drop that right hip and flex the right foot. Breathe. And you can also take your arms down by your side if you want to. When you're ready to come out of it, no matter where you are, you're going to bend the left knee again to set that right foot back down behind you. If you don't bend the left knee to come out of it, then you set the foot down and it's kind of awkward. Alright, so to go to the other side, we're going to now bring the right foot forward, take the left foot back, either taking your arms overhead with the fingers interlaced, or if you're going to go to the blocks with the hands separated, or you can bring them into prayer. Find your focal point on the floor, bend your right knee, start to bring the left leg up, flex the foot, straighten the right leg, and then shift your hips down. Your left hip shifts towards the floor. Breathe. And remember, if you fall out of it, you got to build it up from the bottom. And then bend the right knee, set the left foot down, and we come out of it. Yay! Nicely done, I'm sure. Can't see you, but I'm sure you did a good job. All right, I'm gonna get this fan going because, ooh, it's hot. Like I said, we jumped straight from it snowed to summer. All right, so let's come back a little bit from the top of our mat. We'll take the feet out wide and turn the toes out. Bringing the hands into Anjali Mudra. Now remember, if you can't do garland pose, that's okay. You can go down to the mat either through standing forward bend and downward facing dog, or you can just gently lower yourself to the mat. If you want to do garland, bring your hands together. On the exhale, we're going to squat down, but I'm going to move the phone first so that you can see me as I transition down to the floor. Okay. And if your heels need to be lifted, that's fine. Some people can set their heels down and some people can't, but it's okay. Pushing the back of your arms into your legs. If you want to sway a little bit, that's cool. Just hanging out in Malasana, garland pose. This is one of my favorites. I can stay in this for a pretty good time too. In some countries, they actually sit like this, you know, like they're hanging out on the front porch or something and they're just like sitting like this. Okay, I don't think I can hold it that long, but all right. We'll come to a stop. Bring the hands down to the mat to support you down onto your knees. I'm going to go ahead and get a little blanket here to help my little right knee. And we're going to come onto all fours, making sure that the wrists are under the shoulders, spreading the fingers nice and wide. Tops of the feet are flat. On the inhale, drop your belly and look up to the ceiling. On the exhale, bring your chin into your chest and round your back. Animal noises are optional. Moo. Meow. They make you feel good though. Just keep moving with your own breath. Stretching out your back. On your next inhale, turn your toes under. On your exhale, pushing back into downward facing dog. Oh yeah. So soften your knees, get those hips up in the air. Do that shift of the torso back toward the legs. Remember, you gotta make that conscious shift. And then the head is between the arms. Then on your next inhale, we're going to take the left leg up, and I'm going, where's that ceiling fan? Yeah. Lengthen out. And exhale, we're going to bring that knee up to the top of the mat, coming into pigeon. Oh, yes. That feels really good. So you can stay up on your palms, or you can come down to rest on stacked fists, on blocks, on the bolster if you want. Just breathe. I think I'm going to come down onto a block tonight. I'm going to be a blockhead. Yeah. Some would say I already am a blockhead, but that's okay. I can handle it. Just breathe. Making sure you're on your shin, not rolled over on your hip. The left leg or right leg is lengthened out. I have a feeling I'm going to have to go get Sasha. Yep. All right. Y'all hang out for a couple of breaths and I'll be right back. Is she crying? Okay. False alarm. Huh? All right. Let's come back up onto the palms. Turn the toes of the back foot under, moving back into your three-leg down dog. Still looking for that fan. Set that left foot down on the mat. Inhale, we're going to take the right leg up. Oh, lengthen out. Exhale, bring that knee to the top of your mat. And adjust into pigeon. Yay. So once again, the left leg is lengthened out now. We're on the right shin. Just remember, if you ever feel like you're rolling over on your hip, you can prop yourself up with a block on the hip of the leg that's bent, or with a bolster if you prefer. That way it gives you a little bit of support and you don't have to worry about rolling versus not rolling. So we'll just come down to rest.
I'm so happy that I can do pigeon again. I still can't hold it as long as I used to, but it's pretty good. Then we'll come back up onto the palms. Turn the toes of the back foot under. Oh, moving back into your 3-leg down dog. Oh. And then set that foot down on the mat. Stretch out the back just a little bit more there. Let's exhale, coming down onto our knees. And then we're just gonna come down onto our bellies. So I'm gonna move my blanket out of the way there. Oh, yep. So once we're down on the floor, let's go ahead and bring the hands to the base of the chest. Guide your elbows in towards your side. Knees are lifted, tops of the feet are flat. Inhale, we're gonna come up into Cobra, keeping the belly button on the mat. Just use your breath and your hands to raise and lower you. And then exhale down. Let's go ahead and extend the right arm out in front of us. I gotta back up a little, I just hit the wall. And the top of the right foot is flat and the knee is lifted. We're gonna reach back and grab hold of the left foot and pull that in into half frog, Ardha Bhikasana, rib. And you can pull it toward your hip, or you can pull it toward the outside of the hip, or excuse me, toward your buns or toward the outside of your hip. Just breathe, and then exhale, release. We'll bring the left arm out in front. Top of the left foot is flat, knee is lifted. Reach back with the right hand, grabbing that foot. Bit, ribbit. Oh my gosh. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. And then release that foot. Oh. Let's cross the arms out in front of us, resting your forehead on your arms. Bend your knees so your feet go up in the air, and then we're just gonna windshield wiper the legs. So you kind of decide, how deep your wipers are gonna go, so to speak. It's not, you can't go but so far, but some people like little wiper motions and some people like big wiper motions. And you could take that in a whole lot of different ways, couldn't you? Oh, just breathe. And then we'll bring the feet back to center and take the legs down on the mat. Bring the hands back to the base of your chest. Drop your knees. We're going to push up onto all fours, and then you can either come into child's pose or happy puppy. Yay. Oh, goodness. So, of course, if you're going into child's pose, feet stay together, knees separate out as wide as you need them to go. Sit your buns back toward your heels, and arms can be out front or behind you. If you're going into happy puppy, woof woof, yip yip. The buns stay up in the air, and the chest and forehead melt towards the mat. And your arms can be, when they're out in front of you in happy puppy, they can be with the elbows lifted or with the forearms down to the mat. That's up to you. You're going to get a different stretch, so play with that a little bit. And then we'll exhale and come back in and come down to seated. So let's come into Sukhasana, easy pose. So bring your legs loosely in, ankles are uncrossed. Remember, if you need to prop up a knee or if you need to have your leg out straight, that's fine. Use your props when needed. And then we're going to bring the hands either to the knees with the palms up or down, or you can rest them in your lap. That's up to you. Sit up nice and tall. Relax your shoulders. And if you want to close your eyes for a little bit, you can just focus on your breath. just listen to the breath fill your body. It's good stuff. On your next exhale, let's take the left ear down to the left shoulder. We're going to inhale the head back to center and exhale the right ear to the right shoulder. Keep moving with your own breath. On the inhales, bringing your head back to center. On the exhale, taking one or the other ear down to the respective shoulder. Then when you come back to center the next time, we're going to go ahead and walk our hands out onto the mat. So walking forward, bringing your palms to the mat, pushing into the palms so that your hips will stay back, your sitting bones stay firmly rooted, and we breathe. Try to keep your back as flat as possible and your neck in a neutral position. Just breathe. Feel the mat beneath your hands. And then we'll exhale, walking the hands back in. So you can go ahead and switch the legs out, bringing the back leg to the front. Or if you have your leg extended, you're just going to leave it extended. And I think I'm going to go ahead and extend mine now because it's starting to feel a little sore. Bring your hands back to your knees once again. Sitting up nice and tall. Keeping the breath going. Then we're going to bring the left hand to the mat behind us. And we're going to bring the right hand to that left knee. Sitting up nice and tall. On the exhale, we're going to twist to the left. Using your back hand as light support and pushing gently down on your left knee. You can use that back hand to give you a little bit of torque in your twist if you want. Just be careful. And always listening to your body and not going too far. Then we'll exhale through center, bringing the right hand to the mat behind us, the left hand to the right knee, sitting up tall and twisting to the right. Just breathe. You can look to the side or over your shoulder. That's up to you. And exhale, turn forward. One hand to each knee, chin into the chest, and we're going to hang back, rounding the back into baby spine pose. And then we'll inhale, coming back up. Let's extend both legs onto the mat in front of us. Feet are flexed. We're going to pull the buns out from under us and bring the hands down to the mat beside our hips. Relax your shoulders, so if you need to bend your elbows, you can. You're gently pushing into the mat, not really hard. Sit up nice and tall in staff pose, Dandasana. Just breathe as we prepare to go into seated forward bend. If you need to widen your legs out, go ahead and do so now. Then we'll inhale, bringing the arms up, palms facing one another, shoulder width apart. Lengthen coming out of the waist, and exhale, fold from the top of the thighs. Taking your hands either to the outside edges of your feet, to your shins, to the mat, or you can use your strap. Keep your back as flat as possible, your neck neutral. Just breathe. And we remember that seated forward bend is one of the best poses that we can do for flexibility because you get a stretch of the entire back of your body. So, if you ever want to try it, you can get a timer and do this pose for 2 to 5 minutes. Yeah. I think I've done it for 3 minutes. I don't know if I've ever done it for 5, but it does feel good. Or if you don't want to time yourself, you know, a lot of times students would ask me, well, especially in 101, how many breaths should we hold this for when we're doing a practice at home? That's really very individualized, but as a general rule of thumb with seated forward bend, I would usually hold it for about 10 to 15 breaths because you're seated, so you don't have to worry about falling over. Well, I probably could, but you know, I do my own stunts, and sometimes they're intentional. But then for things like Warrior 2 or where you're standing and you're in a balancing kind of thing, you won't hold those as long. Usually about 5 breaths, maybe 6. A lot of times I would judge it by when I started to see all of you get fidgety. When you started to look like you were about to kind of lose it, then I'm like, okay, time to come out. Isn't that a good rule of thumb? Yeah. All right, on the exhale, let's walk the hands back in and move my blocks out of the way. Let's take the legs out wide and just do a real quick wide leg seated forward bend. So make sure that your feet are flexed, pull your buns out, butt luggage. Bring the hands to the mat in front of you. On the exhale, we're gonna walk forward. Oh yeah, that feels good. You can keep your hands to the mat, or you can take your first 2 fingers to your big toes, whichever you prefer, or even to your shins if you want, you know. But you want to make sure that you don't round in. So I used to see that a lot, the head tuck, and then you start to round your back, and then your chest closes off. When we're in this pose, we really want to keep our chest open and the shoulders down the back. So keep your head lined up, keep that neck neutral. It's more important to keep everything open than it is to get to the floor. You know, I've always said that. The goal is not reaching your toes or getting to the floor. It's getting the best stretch that you can get in a particular pose. So sometimes we have to resist that urge to try to get as far into it as we can. And then we'll exhale and come back up. Release both feet to the mat, one at a time. Grab hold of those knees, and we're gonna pull up between the legs, relax the shoulders. You can almost feel your back kind of hollow out when we do this. There, feels good. Now we're gonna go ahead and come down onto our backs. Oh, yeah, that feels really good. Okay, bring your feet flat to the mat. Let's bring the knees into the chest one at a time, into knees to chest pose, because that's what the Magic Yoga Cube told us to do. And you can have your hands to your knees, or you can wrap your arms around your legs. That's up to you. Just breathe. Feel your back expand with the breath. And then we're going to cross the ankles, widen the knees, and rock in cradle rock, or you can come into happy baby if you prefer. Just make sure if you're coming to happy baby, I would see this so often. You've got to start with the feet in the air and the knees bent, elbows to the inside, hands to the outside of the feet or the shins. If you can't reach your feet, don't worry about it. Grab your shins. But it's elbows inside, hands outside. And I used to see people do it all the time opposite. And I'm like, that's so awkward. And then you can widen your legs out as much as you want. Just rock and rock and rock. Feels so good. Oh, yeah. It really does. All right, then we're going to come to a stop. Uncross your legs, bring your feet down to the mat. And we're gonna take the arms out to the side. And we're gonna cross the right leg over the left. And then on the exhale, we're gonna twist to the left into cross-leg spinal twist. Keeping your shoulders as flat to the mat as possible. Look up to the ceiling or over your right shoulder. And of course, if you want a little bit of extra weight on the top leg, you can take your hand, your left hand, to that leg, either to the knee or the leg itself. And then we'll inhale coming up, ooh, yawning. Uncross your legs and then cross the left over the right. And exhale, twist to the right. Once again, keeping the shoulders as flat to the mat as possible. And if you want to take your right hand to the top leg, you can. Some people find that helpful. It gives them a little bit of extra weight to help them in the twist. Other people find it not so nice. So of course it's your practice. Do what you want. Then we'll inhale the knees back up. Uncross the legs. Bring the knees back into your chest once again. And we're going to bring the soles of the feet together. Interlacing your fingers around the outside edges of your feet or grabbing your ankles, either one. And then pulling the heels down and in toward your pelvis in reclining bound angle. Well, you are reclining and it is bound angle. Baddha Konasana. Not to be confused with Supta Baddha Konasana where, never mind, the feet are down on the mat and all kinds of stuff is going on. Oh, that feels good. All right, we're going to bring the knees back together and then start to prepare for Shavasana. So go ahead and get your props if you want any props for Shavasana. And then you're going to take your feet out to the width of the mat and let the feet and ankles roll out to the side of your body. Arms down by your side. Close your eyes. Turn your breath to its natural rhythm. And just rest into the mat. And of course, you're always welcome to rest in reverse Shavasana on your tummy, or in legs up the wall, or even you can turn onto one side or the other. And if you do that, you want a pillow between your knees. So just focus on your breath and relax. Let's start to get some movement back into our bodies. Coming out of Shavasana. And when you're ready, rolling to one side and resting for a breath or two before we come back to seated. Back into Sukhasana, easy pose. And my final thought for tonight is the comeback is always stronger than the setback. And I hope that that's true when this country comes back from what we're dealing with now. Thank you so much for joining me in my practice tonight. And as my shirt says, Namaste. Thanks everybody. Have a great evening. Love you guys.